There are some people in our class, they study one day before the exam and still top the class. Let us assume these people as group A, and there is group B. They study every day the entire year and still they score average. It seems unreal, but this is the truth. If you are from group B, then this video is for you. After watching this video, I will guarantee you will be the class topper. If not topper, at least you will score 50% higher than now. If you are someone new, I am Shrihan. I am studying in grade 10th and making videos to help people online and trying to make some money. Let's dive into the video. For understanding this topic, let us take example of Ramu and Aman. Ramu was sitting in a place or a period of time, for example at the corner, because there was no distraction and he was free to study. And here is Aman changing his place all the time and surrounded by his friends, and there was so many distraction for Aman. And guess the result of both Ramu and Aman. Aman scored 70% in the exam, whereas Ramu scored a whopping 95%. Ultimately, by dedicating a study spot, the score drastically improves. Many studies have shown that our environment shapes us, so we should be in a good spot and should be consistent with that. Study for a while, take a short break, and repeat. The Pomodoro technique is based on this. 25 minutes ka work, 5 minutes ka break, with a longer break after a few cycles. I prefer 60-minute chunks, but you should find what works best for you. By this, our brain has some gaps to rest, and in this gap, our brain prepares for the next study phase. This will enhance our brain's performance. You can buy this Pomodoro clock for a couple of bucks. I will provide the best link in the description. You can also use mobile clocks, but I prefer Pomodoro clock because it is better to stay away from screen. This one's important. First, make sure that you truly understand this topic, like a teacher would before teaching it. If you can't explain it in a simple way, you don't understand it. So close your book, explain it aloud, even if no one's there. Second, ask yourself questions, especially in the subjects like social studies and inorganic chemistry. Write down key questions and regularly quiz yourself using them. This active recall method helps our brain to store more information for the long term. Give yourself clear targets and deadlines. In my case, it was 60 questions in 60 minutes. Work expands to fill time available. Parkinson's law in action. For example, there's an assignment to submit after 7 days. First few days you would be enjoying, but in the last day you would start the assignment and complete it. If there was only 7 hours to complete the assignment, you will complete the assignment by the deadline. So always assign targets with specific time limits. This principle states that the 80% of the results comes from 20% of the effort. Engineering textbooks are huge, so don't try to learn everything. Focus on high-yield topics. Scan notes and past papers to identify what matters most. Study those. Talk to a topper if needed. Solve relevant questions and then rock the exam. Most average students try to memorize facts like definitions, formulas, or dates without fully grasping why or how they work. But smart students take time to understand why behind the concept, which makes the learning more meaningful and easier to remember and more useful in exams. For example, photosynthesis is the process by which plants make food using sunlight. Memorizers' approach is just to learn the definition. Smart students' approach is to ask questions. Why do plants need sunlight? How does chlorophyll absorb light? What happens if there's no sunlight? How is it related to oxygen production for humans? This builds real understanding and you will never forget the topic because you have connected the idea with logic and other topics. Smart students don't just know facts, they understand the system. This means instead of blindly memorizing the information, smart students try to understand the logic, flow, and reason behind the topic they are studying. Because when you understand the topic deeply, you don't forget it easily. You can apply it in a tricky or twisted question. You can solve real life problems using that knowledge. You can explain it to others, which is a test of true understanding. For example, Newton's third law. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Memorizers would just repeat the law. Smart students will understand it by examples like balloon flying, a rocket launch, and why you move backward when you jump off a boat. They connect this law in day-to-day life and therefore it sticks forever. When you understand how topics connect, like photosynthesis links to oxygen, or how math formulas come from logic, you create a web of knowledge in your brain. This is called deep learning and it makes your memory stronger and faster. If a question is twisted or unfamiliar, memorizing students will panic, but those who understand the system behind the topic, they can analyze and solve it easily, even if it's new. Now let's answer some FAQs. Should you wake up at 5 a.m. to study? Usually yes, but if you are like me and focus better at night, that's fine. Study time is personal. Should you study with friends or alone? Depends. Do question alone and discuss tough concepts with friends. Does multitasking help? Generally no, but if something boring like homework works better with a light anime in the background. Go ahead if it motivates you. Drop your questions below, I will reply to everyone no matter what. Here is the real strategy. None of these tips matter unless you start studying. Right now, set a stopwatch for 25 minutes, apply these tips and study. Then comment started and after comment done. I care more about your progress than your subscription. Your time starts now. Let's go.